He is 13 years old. Andrew, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's great to hear from you. So, Andrew, what state are you from?
I'm from Illinois.
Illinois, okay. So, Andrew, yes. I want to ask you, I found, and this is for the listeners listening right now, too, I found your email that you sent me at the beginning.
Yes,
very, very, very interesting. You seem to have a very, very interesting story, and I want to get to that in a minute. But first, I want you to answer this question for me. Why, Andrew, are you conservative?
I am conservative because I believe our traditional values. I believe that our founders were true patriots who actually fought for freedom. They didn't start a revolution to have another king. They started a revolution for a new political system, and that's very unique since I was new to this country.
Right. Now, when I was 13 years old, this was before I really got into politics. I mean, I was interested in video games and stuff like that. You're 13 years old, and you're interested in stuff like history, the Revolutionary War, George Washington. Why does this stuff interest you so much?
Well, it actually impacted from my entry into the United States. For many years, I was believing the socialist philosophy because I was indoctrinated in China. They taught in class how the Chinese Revolution, they taught what they believe in. And so when I really get deep into American history, I thought my philosophy that I believed in 6 years ago was wrong. And I have talked to my parents. I have talked to local politicians. I have talked to Democrats now, and also Republicans on both sides of the philosophy. And then I really get it down to what I personally believe. And I said, I believe a self-government. I believe that government should not interfere with people's rights and people's liberty. And then I do more research on my own. My parents never pushed me to politics because they think I'm wasting so much time on politics. They just want to take my computer away and put me in the basement and play Xbox or something. And it's actually me who did my own research, who actually figured out that I am actually a conservative, not a progressive.
Mm. Now, I want to ask you a little bit more about your background in China. From your experience, you've lived in both nations. How does the United States differ from China in your experience?
Well, one thing America offers is free choice. You could become whatever you want to become. Society is not going to tell you how to live. In China, I was told what to wear, how to do things, and when to eat, how you are taught in school, and also I was given military training. And so you think...
Wait, hold on. Let me just interrupt you right there. You said you were given military training?
Yes, they were indoctrinating me to get into the military because all the young men and women have to serve in the military for at least until they're 21 or something.
And so you grew up and you didn't like all this unreasonable authority, and then you came to America, and what were your thoughts when you got here?
I was taught I could speak whatever I want. It had to be appropriate, but I was entitled to my own opinion. And that really amazed me from what I was taught in China and really get me going, saying, I am American now, and I'm going to stay the way I'm today.
Andrew, I gotta tell you, you're impressing the hell out of me right now. I mean, it's just, I'm having trouble believing that you're 13 years old, and I don't want to blow wind up your skirt, but I mean, you're clearly very, very intelligent. You're very, very informed on the issues. I want to get into a little bit of politics here, just to kind of cover some different issues. First of all, I want your opinion on this. What do you think of Obamacare?
Well, I think Obamacare is unconstitutional, first of all. because you gotta look at through history why we fought a revolutionary war. It's because the British was taxing the tea. And if you look at it, the same thing with healthcare. You're putting tax on the hardworking Americans, and do so benefiting those who are not working. And what's amazing to know is that those who are unemployed, those who are getting health care are the ones who are not active in society, and they don't care about getting a job. So either way, I think it's unconstitutional.
Right. It absolutely is. You cannot, and I'll tell you this too, and I'm actually writing a book right now, my second book, and I just finished writing about this last night. The founding fathers of our country viewed things like socialism and communism and the redistribution of wealth, which is what Obamacare is centered around, as unconstitutional because it was essentially legalized stealing. It was the legalized taking of wealth from one political class and putting it to another. And the founding fathers believed that transfer of wealth was unconstitutional.
Yes, I personally agree.
I do too.
Because the things that we're taught in school are just not, from the perspective, it's all progressive, it's not true. And one thing about the health care is that Americans are moving away from our traditional principles. And also you got to think, what is the principle of a founding fathers?
Right.
And that we're moving away from that. We're moving away from what we are founded on, and socialism at that time was treasonous.
Right.
Because that was based on what the king believed in.
Right.
Total authority, total control, none of freedom, none of a voting rights.
Right. The progressives, Andrew, what they're doing, they are succeeding in essentially flipping upside down the system that our founding fathers set up for us. In other words, the founding fathers set up a system where the government served we the people, right? The government served we the people. Now today, the liberals are making it so that we the people serve the government. And that's not how it's supposed to be.
Well, personally, I think progressivism created delusions for those who are unemployed, those who need to depend on government. They create this delusion that they're helping them, but truly they're not pushing this idea that push them a little bit and tell them that you have to get a job, you have to work, you gotta chase the American dream. They're not doing that. The progressive are saying, okay, we got them into this trap. Now we're gonna keep it there because now we're enslaving those hard-working class that truly take on the American dream, truly actually knows what our principle is, and actually going out there working hard for their family and for the children's generation.
Andrew, let me ask you this. Do you talk about this kind of stuff with your classmates?
Well, I do. I have a friend that's probably listening on the show. You're going to have a shout-out to Grant Lambo. He's a great friend. We talk about politics during lunch. He's a conservative as well.
What about liberals, though? Do you ever get into debates with your classmates about this?
Oh, you won't believe that I got into a
No, Andrew, trust me. I will believe you. I will believe you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, last year I got into a political argument with one of was my close friend. And he's a liberal. He's a fully Democrat. He believes in the progressive philosophy. So I got into this argument with him. The weirdest thing is that he doesn't want to talk about it. For a couple of days, we were debating about social benefits, healthcare, economy, military industrial complex. We were talking about that, And then a couple days later, he's totally, like, zoned out. Like, he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He doesn't want to associate me as part of his group of friends.
It's probably because he can't argue against you, because you're using facts.
Yes, I am telling facts. I'm telling history, and that is what progressives are afraid of, is that progressives are smart. They are smart. They know history, and they don't want to accept the history that we've been through as a country.
Right. Now, what do you think we can do to reach these liberal millennials, these classmates of ours that are indoctrinated with these liberal beliefs? How can we reach them and get them to our side?
Well, as you said in the show before, we need to change our educational system. As you said, we need to give students the ability to question about current events,
right,
because liberals are like, nope, no politics, no religion, none of that in school. We're going to have control over our education and not let students really question, because when students question, that is when they learn the most. Because last year, I had a teacher who, I don't know if my teacher was liberal or conservative, but what happened was we had a test. We got back our test, and she said, for those who got 70% below, you could retake the test to get a better grade. But for those who got past the grade, you don't have to do anything. I'm like, no, that's unfair.
Mm-hmm.
You're giving students, those who fail, who didn't study, actual opportunities to do better. That's the socialist ideology, that if those who fail to do better than those who actually practice, actually study their topic.
Right.
And so my parents called the principal. They said, this is unfair. My kid got A+ on this test.
Because you study.
Because I study.
Right.
And it's not fair. So one thing is we need to get into our educational system. That, as you said, questioning. We can't take that away from students, because as a student myself, I don't want to sit in a classroom listening to my teacher talk, but not actually asking
right,
real questions instead of asking stupid questions that make no sense.
Right. Andrew, I'm about to do something that I've never done on Factor Talk Radio before. You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
I right here on live radio, I want to offer you a spot on Junior Factor Nation, because I'm serious that this you are years and years ahead of your age. You know your stuff. You know, you seem very, very passionate about the conservative cause, and you said you wanted to do a half hour on Junior Factor Nation. I'd encourage you to do a full hour if you would accept that.
I think that's
or at least
fine
think
with
about
me.
it.
Yes, I will think about it, but I think that's perfectly fine with me.
All right, Andrew. I got to run, but I want to thank you very, very much for talking to me tonight, and we'll be in touch. Okay, we'll get you situated on Junior Factor Nation. I really, really think you're going to be a great addition to the team.
Okay, thank you,
Andrew. God bless. Nice talking to you.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, I am impressed. I really am. I'm extremely, extremely impressed. That kid is going to do amazing things. Mark my words. Amazing things will come from him.
Factor Talk Radio.